Good morning to one and all. This is P. Nagarjuna. I would like to explain the concept of typical configuration of computer system. The major objective of the typical configuration of computer system is to understand various units of a computer system. Next one, to recognize various components of the motherboard. Third one, to analyze the configuration of today's computer system. And the final objective is insight to assemble a computer system. Next one, what are the major components or units can be connected to the central processing unit? Approximately 6 to 7 units can be connected to the CPU. For example, system fan, power supply, processors, motherboard, RAM modules, optical devices, hard drive, heatsink, and floppy devices. These units can be connected to the central processing unit, that means the CPU. Next one, introduction to the computer system. The computer has evolved as a result of a man's search for fast calculating systems, that means the devices. Computers have thus become an intelligent part of everyone's life and useful in many ways by increasing man's efficiency and enhancing his abilities. For example, nowadays in any field computers are rapidly used. In colleges, college laboratories, computers are used. In any supermarkets, computers are used. Because of the reason is, day to day the number of users increase the computer system. For that, it will be fast processors are used in the computer system. Next one, what are the major applications of the computer system? So the major applications of the computer system is used in scientific field, engineering applications, business field, education system, that means college laboratories, training centers, and entertainment like that movies, some video games. In any field, computer systems are most properly used. These are the basic applications of the computer system. Next one, what are the major characteristics of the computer system? Computers have basically 5 types of characteristics. First one is the speed, second one is the reliability, third one versatility, fourth one intelligence, next fifth one is accuracy. These 5 are basic characteristics of the computer system. Computer works at a high speed, can handle large volume of data with greater accuracy, and have the ability to carry out a speed sequence of operations without human being interactions. That means computer can perform more operations without interaction of the human beings. The fundamental definition of computer system is, the computer is an electronic device. It can perform the following 4 tasks. First one is accepting the input from the keyboard, stores the data, processing the data, and the final one is results the output as per the user requirement. For example, you can add 2 numbers, C is equal to A plus B. That means A having 10 and B having 10, finally C gets 20. We are giving the input A equal to 10 and B equal to 10 from the keyboard. Here to use 3 variables, A, B, C are the 3 variables. These data can store temporarily in the computer system in RAM chip or registers. At the time of using the calculations, either it may be addition or subtraction, division, multiplication in ALU, arithmetical and logic unit. That means processing the data. After processing the data, the resultant data can again temporarily stored in the registers. After that, finally display the output devices. So ultimate definition is computer basically is an electronic device. It can perform following 4 tasks. First one, accepting the input from the keyboard. Second one, stores the data. Third one, processing the data. Fourth one, results the output as per the user requirement. The term computer basically includes a series of electrical and electronic circuits together to form a single unit to perform the required operations for the user. Here you see to observe the electrical circuits and the electronic circuits together to form a single group. This group of electrical circuits and electronic circuits is used to require operations for the user. User means who are the computer operator. Those computer operators are the users. The computer has no intelligence of its own and thus cannot perform any task by itself. Thus it requires the hardware, software and data, and the final one is user, which perform the computer system to perform the different operations. Computer does not take own tasks. Computer does not perform its own tasks. Computer must need some basic physical components, that means the hardware devices, some software components, some data and the users. For that we will discuss the next basic terms can be used as follows. First one is the hardware. The physical components which could see and touch is called hardware components. In other words, all tangible things are called hardware components. The device who are seen and touched, such devices is called hardware devices. The best example of hardware devices are mouse, keyboard, processors, motherboard, monitor. All these are the hardware devices. Next one is the software devices or software components. Software consists of a set of instructions called programs. These programs are very much useful for providing the intermediate communication between the hardware components. For example, operating system is one of the software. Already you know that software is a set of instructions to provide a program. The another definition for software is all intangible things are called softwares. For example, operating system is a software. You can purchase 50,000 or 1 lakh amount a single computer system. Without operating system, you can't enable anything. You can't do any work on the computer system. Because of the reason is operating system to provide the interface between the user of a computer system and hardware components of the computer system. To provide the intermediate communication between the computer and the user, the main software is operating system. So operating system can be designed with the help of different programs. So an operating system is a software or a program. It is used to provide the interface between the computer system, that means the hardware components of a computer system, and the user of a computer system. So all intangible things are called softwares. Next one is the data. How to work the hardware devices, how to work the softwares, programs. For that we must need the hardware related data and the software related data. That is the collection of raw facts. Raw facts is nothing but a data. Next one, users. The computer system, who are the user? The computer system, that means users are people who write computer program or interact with the computer. The user or the programmer who are interacted to the computer system, then it is referred as users. Now we will go for the next very important concept, that means review of the block diagram of a computer system. The block diagram of a computer system comprises the four basic parts. These four basic parts can be seen in the following figure. Basically, first unit is the input unit. The second unit is central processing unit. The central processing unit having three subunits or the subcomponents. First one is control unit. Second one is arithmetic and logic unit. Third one is registers. All these subunits are subcomponents of the central processing unit. The third main component is storage devices. Fourth component is output devices. We can explain all these four individual units. First one is control unit. Input unit. First one is input unit. The input unit is used to receive the input from the keyboard. That is the basic functionality of the input devices. The best example of input devices are keyboard, mouse, touch screen, joysticks. These are the examples of the input devices. Which type of data can be given to the input? Text data will be given to the input. Sound data will be given to the input. Images, documents, all these type of data can be given to the input. The basic functionality of the input devices is to receive that input data. Those data can be transmitted to the CPU. Next one is central processing unit. CPU stands for central processing unit. The heart of the computer system is the central processing unit. The central processing unit can be covered by the cabinet. The central processing unit having three basic parts or three basic components. First one is control unit. Second one is arithmetic and logic unit. Third one is registers. First one, control unit. The control unit is used to provide the coordination between the devices. That means input device to CPU, CPU to the output devices. When we are giving to the input from the keyboard to the CPU, the sequence of instructions can be transmitted with the help of control unit. That is the basic functionality of the control unit. What is the basic functionality of the control unit? The basic functionality of the control unit is to transmit the data from input devices to the CPU and the CPU to the output devices. That is the basic functionality of the control unit. Next one, ALU. ALU stands for arithmetic and logic unit. The basic functionality of the arithmetic and logic unit is used to perform all arithmetical operations as well as logical operations. The arithmetical operations such as addition, the symbol is plus; subtraction, the symbol is minus; multiplication, the symbol is asterisk in computer language; division is divisible by slash symbol; and modulo division, the symbol is percentile. All these are the arithmetical operations. These arithmetical operations is performed by the arithmetical and the logic unit ALU. Some logical operations also performed by the ALU. Those logical operations are and, or, and not. Next one, registers. A register is a temporary storage device. The registers are the part in central processing unit. The registers can be designed with the help of flip-flops. You can learn in computer organization, that means CO, they will give lot of information about registers. Basically, registers can be designed with the help of flip-flops, RS flip-flop, JK flip-flop, master slave flip-flop, and a toggle flip-flop. These types of flip-flops can be used for designing the registers. The registers can store the data in temporary manner. Whenever the calculation are started, before the data can be stored into the registers. Registers can store the data in 1-bit field. At a time we can store 1 bit of data in registers. Because of the reason is registers can be designed with the help of flip-flops. So the overall idea of registers are, a register is a temporary storage device. Registers can store the data before going to process. Registers can be designed in flip-flops. That's it. Next one is storage devices. In computer system, the key role is storage devices. A memory is a storage device. It can store the data in temporary manner and a permanent manner. Depends on the usage of a memory device. There are two types of memory devices are available in the computer system. One is the temporary storage memory devices. Second one is permanent storage devices. First we will discuss temporary storage devices. How many types of memories are there in the computer system? There are two types of memories in the computer system. One is the primary memory, second one is the secondary memory. Primary memory is also called as the main memory. Secondary memory is also called as auxiliary memory. At the time of government exam point of view, they will ask some objective bits, multiple choice bits. They will give such type of questions. How many memories are there in the computer system? Two types. One is the primary memory, second one is secondary memory. Another name for primary memory is main memory. Another name for secondary memory is auxiliary memory. So next we will discuss the concept of primary memory. So first thing is, primary memory is a memory device. It can store the data in temporary manner. Only the data can be stored in temporary manner in main memory. The another name for main memory is called primary memory. So what about the main memory? A main memory is a memory device. It can store the data in temporary manner. Whenever we can switch off the computer system, after certain time we can restart the system, the previous data will be lost. So how many types of main memories are there? Basically two types of main memories are there. One is RAM, second one is ROM. RAM stands for random access memory. ROM stands for read-only memory. RAM stands for random access memory, ROM stands for read-only memory. RAM can be split into two types, SRAM and DRAM. SRAM stands for static RAM, DRAM stands for dynamic RAM. Static RAM can be designed with the help of some flip-flops. Whereas in dynamic RAM can be designed with the help of transistors. Static RAM data can be stored in permanent manner, but a dynamic RAM cannot support for storing the data in permanent manner. At runtime, static RAM, the new data can be stored. It is very difficult. At runtime, the new data can be entered into the dynamic RAM. It is possible because dynamically variating the data in dynamic RAM, but the static RAM data can be stored in the permanent manner. All these are the small descriptive about the RAM. Next one, ROM. ROM stands for read-only memory. Already you know that. That means the data can be read to the memory devices. Writing is not possible. Basically, there are 4 types of ROM devices: ROM, PROM, EPROM, EEPROM. ROM stands for read-only memory. PROM stands for programmable read-only memory. EPROM stands for electrical programmable read-only memory. EEPROM stands for electrical erasable programmable read-only memory. So these are the basic description of the ROM chip. Next we will go for the next memory devices, that is secondary storage devices. Secondary memory or auxiliary memory. A secondary memory is a memory device. It can store the data in permanent manner. When we are working on the computer system, we can store the data, suddenly switch off the computer system. After certain time, you can restart the system. The previous data can be stored into the same computer system. The another name for secondary storage devices is auxiliary memory. Already you know that. Auxiliary memory is very much useful for storing the data in permanent manner. You can store the data in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year or lakh of years. The data always stored in the memory devices. Basically, the secondary storage devices are 5 types: magnetic tape, magnetic disk, floppy disk, hard disk, and optical disk. Optical disk can be split into 2 types. One is CD, second one is DVD. CD stands for compact disk, DVD stands for digital versatile disk. These are the 5 types of secondary storage devices. First one is a magnetic tape. Magnetic tape is like that tape record cassette. So in olden days you can use magnetic tapes. These are the 5 types of secondary storage devices gradually used from earlier to nowadays. So these are the memory devices. Next one is output devices. When the user complete the process, the result will be displayed on the output devices. So the basic functionality of the output devices is very much useful for display the data on the screen. Which type of data can be displayed on the screen? For example, user can calculate 2 numbers applied on the addition operation. Those data will be displayed on the output screen. To use keyboard, A equal to 10, B equal to 10, then to form a equation C is equal to A plus B, to use 3 variables A, B, C variables on the keyboard. After executing the program, that means after processing the input program, the result will be displayed on the screen for that some output devices. The best example of output devices are monitor, printers. These are the best example of output devices. So all these are the basic description of the introduction to the computer system and the block diagram of a computer system. Just review the block diagram of a computer system. Basically, any computer system having four units. One is input unit, second one is central processing unit. The central processing unit contains three subunits or components. Those components are control unit, ALU, that means arithmetic and logic unit, and the last one is registers. And the third unit is storage devices, fourth one is output devices. Next we can explain each and every unit can be explained. First one is input unit. The basic functionality of the input is used to receive the input data from the keyboard. The best example of input devices are keyboard, touch screen, joystick, pen drive, light pen. All these are the best example of input devices. Next one, central processing unit. CPU stands for central processing unit. The central processing unit contains four subunits. One is control unit, second one is ALU, arithmetic and logic unit, third one is registers. Control unit, that means CU. CU stands for control unit. Control unit is used to provide the coordination between the input devices and CPU. And then when we are giving to the input from the keyboard to the CPU to control the sequence of instructions. That is the basic functionality of the control unit. Next one, ALU, arithmetic and logic unit. ALU stands for arithmetic and logic unit. ALU is used to perform all arithmetical operations as well as logical operations. All arithmetical operations are addition, the symbol is plus, subtraction, the symbol is minus, multiplication, the symbol is asterisk in computer language, division, that is the slash symbol, and modulo division, the symbol is a percentile symbol. Sometimes it may use some logical operations. These logical operations are AND operation, OR operation, and NOT operations. Next one is registers. A register is a temporary storage device in the CPU. Registers are always placed in the CPU. Registers can store the data, that means one bit of data at a time. Because of the reason is registers can be designed with the help of flip-flaps. You know,
This is the chance.
computer
Let's do
organization
Single
flip-flaps are
Dance. Everybody put your hands up and dance.
explained. Those flip-flaps are very much useful for designing the registers. Before going to process the input data, the input data always stored in the register.